Sarah. Mr. Wood wanted to go first, correct? Harris Wood.
Yes, he did.
Making you a co-host. Mr. Wood is not in the waiting room.
Okay. I know he was in trial and he was gonna excuse himself at 2:30.
Go on. We're on the record in 22 CCR 228929, state of Texas versus Acacia Vanderhorst. Mr. Smith,
Yes, Judge.
if you have a motion to reinstate, you may make your argument.
Yes, Your Honor. So Ms. Vanderhorst was scheduled to was in trial, or I'm sorry, was in court on, let's see here. It's Toller. On 10/28, I made a mistake, Judge. I should have filed a reset. I was not familiar with the procedures of the court, and because of that, Ms. Vanderhorst did not appear. And then the bond forfeiture meeting was held on 12/13, which I didn't get notice of because I wasn't noticed that Ms. Toller said that that's how they do it. So I have to fall on the sword on this one, Judge. This was entirely my fault. Ms. Vanderhorst did not do anything wrong. She's made every court date, Your Honor. She's made every drug test. She's never failed to drug test. She's been perfect on bond. Her attorney made a mistake, Judge, and I would hate for her to pay the price for her attorney's mistake.
I'll grant your motion.
Thank you, Judge.
We're going to go ahead and bring you in for a docket control order entry in this case.
Understood.
You'll come in on February 24th, 8:30 a.m.
Got it, Your Honor. We will be there. Ready to go.
It's in person.
Yes, sir. We will be there. The
All right.
24th, 8:30 a.m., Judge.
That's correct. I will need you to e-file a reset for that date.
I will get that done, and that paperwork is available on the website, correct, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, I will download that and get that done in the next 30 minutes.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. And Ms. Toller, thank you for your help.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Anything further, Judge?
You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Harris Wood is still not present.
No, sir.
I'm going to move on. All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 228632, State of Texas versus Morris Attaway. Mr. McDougall, What is going on with this case?
Let me unmute myself. Judge, I was hired by Mr. Attaway yesterday. I've already been shared and talked with Mr. Ulak and received discovery on the case, which I've already reviewed with my client in the last couple hours. I do believe this case is going to have a resolution. Mr. Ulak notified my office during lunch that he'd have an offer to me shortly. And we hope to get this resolved shortly, Judge. So maybe, I know that this case has been pending for a little bit. There have been a couple of resets, but I've been on it for less than 24 hours. And I already feel like we got a lot accomplished.
All right. Why don't I go ahead and bring you in for a docket control order entry 224. That's February 24th at 8:30 a.m. And then hopefully you can get this set for a plea or whatever you are going to do in the matter.
That'll work, Judge. Is that good with you, Mr. Ulak? You're on mute.
And Ms. Purdue, I will get you the digital discovery, the disc discovery shortly as well. So expect that.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McDougal. You're free
My
to go.
client's here, Judge. May we both be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Ryan, you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're on the record in 19 CCR 211-683, State of Texas versus Samantha Stevenson. What's going on with this case, Mr. Ryan?
Judge, the state had previously made an offer for my client to take a couple of classes and dismiss. She has completed one of the classes. She needs to complete her decision-making class. I think Ms. Stevenson can get that done in the next 2 weeks.
Mr. Ryan, I'm setting this case for trial. If she gets it done before trial, great. If not, we're going to go to trial on this matter. It is a 19 case. It is one of the older cases on my docket. Let me see here. We're going to set it for February 28th at 10 a.m. for trial. Sarah, what's that pretrial?
It is February 23rd at 9 a.m.
And that's February 28th at 10 a.m., February 23rd at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
You would e-file a reset on that. You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Axel, your client is not in the waiting room.
Yes, Your Honor. I had not been able to get a hold of Mr. Henderson, so I don't expect him to appear. I tried everything, calls, emails, so I assume that the court will issue the bond forfeiture. And if I do get a hold of him and, find out there was some exigent circumstances, I'll file the appropriate motion. But I tried everything to no avail and was unable to get a hold of him.
A motion from the state.
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, we would request the bond be forfeited.
Jacob, will you call the defendant's name outside?
No answer at 2:41, Judge.
Thank you. Any bond conditions?
No bond conditions, Your Honor. We would just request that bond be set at $1,500.
His current bond is $10,000.
10,000? Oh, I was looking at a 750 bond. Apologies, Your Honor. We would request 15,000 then.
Granted. Defendant now has a new $15,000 bond. Mr. Axel, you are free to go. Sarah, would you remind me to enter everything in the PSRS system at the end of docket today?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day, Judge.
You do the same. Mr. Verlano, are you there?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, we're on the record in 20 CCR 216487, State of Texas versus Rachel Hernandez. There was an offer for treatment court last time. The defendant's clearly not in treatment court yet. What is going on?
At present, Your Honor, I'm waiting for two things. One, I was informed that there are 3 CDs in this matter, but I have not been told that they're available for pickup yet. And then secondly, I've not received any recommendation from the prosecutor's office.
Well, last time we were here, you said that treatment court was offered.
If I may, Your Honor.
You may.
Per email sent December 14th, I made Mr. Furlano aware that 4 discs were available to be picked up, as well as I made a probation officer offer and told him he was able to evaluate for treatment court. But checking in, there's been no evaluation or no screening scheduled.
All right, Mr. Milano, I'm setting this case for trial. It's an older case in my docket. It's now approaching 3 years. The matter will be set for trial on February 28th at 10 a.m. Pre-trial will be held on February 23rd. I need you to e-file a reset, please.
Yes, sir. If I can have those dates again, please.
February 28th, 10 a.m. for trial.
Okay?
Pre-trial will be held on February 23rd at 9 a.m.
Very good, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fulano. You and your client are free to go. E-file that reset, please.
Will do, Your Honor.
Mr. Mount,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
good afternoon. Is your client going to join us?
She isn't, Judge. She's not tech savvy. She's also the one that has the health problem. She's in a wheelchair and a lot of other issues, so she is not.
What's going on with this case?
Judge, you may recall from our last video conference that I had explained to both you and the state that my client has a lot of health problems. She's had a couple of strokes recently. Her son, who is taken on the role as her caretaker, has provided me with some medical records. I don't think it's enough for the DA, so I'm going to subpoena the records. I understand the court is going to set this for trial. I just want enough time to get the records to the state and let them really evaluate if this is what they want to do.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
That's fine. The state believes they've made an offer that takes into account the health conditions of Mr. Mount's client. However, we're always open to reasonable mitigation that would change our position. Given I likely have a trial set on the exact same day that we have a jury trial setting in one, also in court 2. If we can move this to trial at the end of March, that would be the state's preference.
Trial set on March 7th. Pre-trial will be held March 2nd.
Your Honor, just to let the court know, I have a case set. I have a March 2nd pretrial conference and a March 8th trial setting in Harris County on a case that has been set several times. If you want to put this on the 7th, that's fine, Judge. I'm just letting you know I'm probably going to have a conflict. I'll see what I can do to work it out.
Okay. March 7th at 10 a.m. is trial date, and then pretrial will be held March 2nd at 9 a.m. Both of those are in person. Mr. Mount, if you would e-file a reset for those dates and times, you're free to
sir.
go. Your client is expected to appear in court on those dates.
I understand, Your Honor. I understand. All right.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
All right, we're on the record in 21 CCR 221320, State of Texas versus Alberto Gutierrez. Mr. Diaz, what's going on with this case?
Just received additional discovery on Tuesday. Spoke with Gavin or Mr. O'Brien. I think there's still a report out there. I think he's trying to get it. I don't know if he got it just yet.
Okay. Mr. O'Brien, would you like to add to any of this?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Diaz is correct. There may be an additional report made by one of the witnesses to this case. I have filed an investigative request and I'm pending a response to see if that is present. Otherwise, Mr. Diaz and I have been in the discussion of offers. And I know since he picked up discovery recently, he probably wants a little bit more time to evaluate that before we come to a resolution, but we're on our track to getting worked out.
All right, here's what I want to do. I want to bring this case in for a docket control entry and give y'all just a few more settings before before we're going to try this case. Mr. Diaz, I'm going to have you come in on February 10th at 8:30 a.m. You and your client both to enter and sign it off on a docket control order
You mean like next week?
next Friday.
Mr. Gutierrez, you understand that? I thought he was on there, but
He's
okay.
on here. He's giving us a thumbs up right now, or he was. He's saying something, but he's muted.
He's muted. Okay. Okay.
All right.
And I've only for the record.
Mr. Diaz, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Diaz, you broke up.
Oh, I'm sorry. For the record, I've only been on this case since December 9th of 2021.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. You and your client are free to go. You just need e-file a reset for that date and time, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wood,
Hello, Judge.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. We're on the record in 22 CCR 226059, State of Texas versus Kinsey Anthony. I was told you were in trial and I tried to get you first, but you weren't there.
I know, Judge, that we didn't get called and I was on the road. I didn't want to get the Zoom going while I was trying to drive.
Okay. Next time, wear a tie, please, or a jacket.
Yes, sir.
Verbally both. All right. We're here for a motion to reinstate bond. If you would go ahead and present your argument.
So, Judge, I don't know if my client was able to join in. I'm kind of on my phone. So,
He's here.
okay, very good. So my understanding was that somehow Mr. Anthony missed his court date and it was not intentional. So I don't know what the miscommunication was between he and I, but he did reach out to me. And when we figured out that in fact he had missed the court date, we did file the motion to try to get his bond reinstated just as soon as we could. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to call him as a witness to figure out exactly what went sideways.
Well, before we do that, State, what's your position?
Your Honor, given that this is his first bond forfeiture, and from my understanding, no particular bond violations have been registered, I would defer to the court in this instance. However, if bond is reinstated, I would request certain conditions.
Does he have conditions, or did he have conditions under his old bond?
Yes, Your Honor, he had a random UA as well as an interlock. I would just request that those same conditions are on his new bond.
Then, Judge, that would not be opposed. I mean, if they were already in place, we're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth if it's the court's opinion that maybe they could let this one slide.
Mr. Wood, I'll grant the motion. I'll go ahead and reinstate your client. The conditions that were on his original bond will remain in place and do not change. But I'm going to have you and your client come in next Friday, February 10th at 8:30 a.m. To enter a docket control order in this case.
All right, that I will make sure that happens, Judge. I don't expect that this murder trial, we're supposed to pick tomorrow. And if we're lucky enough for that to happen, I don't expect this case to take more than 3 days. So I really don't anticipate that a problem. If we don't have a jury, and by the way, just so you know, the status of the emergency relief docket in Houston right now is such that I have been set every day since Tuesday, and not one emergency relief court has been open to entertain jury trials, but they're carrying us day to day. So they're at maximum overflow right now, and I'm at their mercy, so to speak. So they could have me start Monday. If that happens, I will let you know.
Please just contact the court.
Will do, Judge.
All right.
So
If you
we'll
e-file
see
a
you next-
reset, if you would just e-file the reset, Mr. Wood, you and your client are free to go. Good luck on your trial. And again, if you get caught up in trial and are unable to attend court on Friday, just call us.
I will, Judge. And I would hopefully, Mr. Kente, Anthony, would you have a problem with me signing that reset by permission, sir?
You need to unmute yourself, sir.
I'll tell you what, Judge.
Wouldn't have no problem.
Okay, perfect. And I'll be in touch with you by text and or phone and do likewise, sir. And I'll get that done. Remember, regardless, we have court in 1 week, Friday at 8:30 a.m. That's the 10th.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You're free to go. All right. We're going to move on to Willis Page. It's my understanding that Mr. Page is in the courtroom.
Yes,
What about
sir.
his attorney, Henderson?
I don't believe he is present in the courtroom.
He's not present in the waiting room, so we're going to move on from that case. All right, Mr. Cortez, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Judge.
All right, we're on the record in 21 CCR 222-678, State of Texas versus Grayson Lee Tate. Mr. Cortez, where do we stand with this matter?
I got a message from the district attorney in charge of the case that discovery is ready to pick up. I was going to try to go down there today, Judge, but given the weather, I got to be down there on Monday on a felony case. So I was going to swing by and pick up the discovery. I believe Mr. Ulick has also made an offer. I haven't reviewed that yet. I'm still, as you can see, in Harris County. But if we get a little bit more time to review discovery and discuss this case with the state, we might be able to work it out.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to give you some more time, but I want you to come in and we're going to enter a docket control order on this case. So you and your client need to be here next Friday at 8:30 a.m. That's February 10th.
At 8:30?
8:30.
I do have some stuff scheduled in Harris County that morning, but I can try to go to y'all first.
It
Assuming
won't take very long. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
it won't take very long. Just we're going to get you a docket control order that will outline your future dates, and then you're free to go after that.
Judge, you want my client there physically or? can
Yeah,
I just-
I'd like him to sign off on it as well.
Okay, we'll see you at 8:30 next Friday, Judge.
See you then. Thank you, Counselor. If
Thank
you would file a reset for that date and time, you're free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Ms. Sines,
Hi, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Uh,
We're on the hold on, we're on the record in 21 CCR 224-435, State of Texas versus Fidel Valenzuela Cruz. Ms. Sines, where do we stand on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. So the ADA just gave me an offer of a time served offer, and I have spoken to my client about it, and he's going to take it.
Okay, let's get you set for a plea.
Okay,
Sure.
and yes, Your Honor, and he is a Spanish speaker, so he is going to need a translator.
Well, then let's start over. I have a translator here. I want to make sure he understood everything that was stated here today.
Okay.
Mr. Crumples,
Afternoon, Your Honor.
let's start over. Ms. Sines, I'm going to make a statement. You'll pause, allow the translator to translate. You'll
Of
make
course,
your
Your Honor.
statement, then he'll translate, etc. All right, let's start over. Ms. Sines, where do we stand on this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. So
Let him translate.
Señor Valenzuela Cruz, el juez le preguntó a la abogada cuál es la situación de este caso y la abogada va a contestar.
Okay.
a time served offer has been made, and I have discussed that with my client, and he will be taking it.
Dice que la fiscalía ha hecho una negociación para aceptar el tiempo ya cumplido en la cárcel como la condena completa. He platicado con mi cliente acerca de esa negociación y él está dispuesto a aceptar lo que la fiscalía ha ofrecido.
So we're going to go ahead and set this for a plea. Sarah, would you give me a plea date for them?
I have next week, February.
Entonces vamos a calendarizar otra fecha de corte para que el señor haga su declaración. ¿Cuál es la próxima fecha que tenemos disponible?
I have February 9th at 1:30 or February 23rd at 1:30.
Tengo disponible el 9 de febrero a la 1:30 de la tarde o el 23 de febrero a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Your Honor, I am in trial in Harris County on the 9th, so it would have to be the other date.
Yo tengo un juicio el 9 de febrero, su señoría, en el condado Harris. Tendría que ser la otra fecha que usted propuso.
What was that second date again, Sarah?
February 23rd at 1:30.
Que sería el 23 de febrero a la 1:30.
And that works for me.
Para mí está bien, dijo.
All right, so Ms. Sines, if you would e-file a reset for that date and time, you and your client will need to appear in person on that
Okay.
date.
We will. Thank you, Your Honor.
Estamos entonces para esa fecha. Señor, usted tendrá que llegar personalmente a la corte en esa fecha. La abogada Sainz va a hacer una petición para calendarizar esa fecha entonces.
Ms. Sines, I also need you to fill out an interpreter request form. You can find that on the court's website. It needs to be submitted to my coordinator.
Oh,
I-
right.
I need there to be a record of the interpretation need. Go ahead, Mr. Crumpholz.
Y la abogada Sainz también tiene que llenar una petición para pedir los servicios del intérprete para que conste en el acta que hay una petición por escrito para tener el intérprete.
You're free to go.
Es todo, señor.
Okay.
Ms. Saylor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
We're on the record in 21 CCR 224-938, State of Texas versus Saif Amin Parani. Okay, you've had time to discuss the offer with your client. What's going on?
Yes, Your Honor. If you remember, we were in discussions regarding one of the many kind of PTI programs that are available in Fort Bend. We were looking at Veterans Court and Drug Court. I just got the confirmation yesterday from Ms. Bourgeois, Your Honor, that he was approved to be screened for drug court. If Your Honor may or may not know, it's my understanding Ms. Bourgeois' mother had passed away. And so I had followed up a couple times in December. And after learning that, kind of backed off, obviously, to wait for her response. And I just got that yesterday. Ms. Toman and I have been in communication, and it's my understanding that if he is accepted into drug court, that's going to be dispositive of our cases. And I think we just need to get together on restitution.
All right. What I'd like to do is have you and your client come in for the entry of a docket control order on this case. I'll give you some additional time, but you're gonna have to move quickly. This case is aging. It's about 2 years old now. So what I'd like for you to do is come in on February 10th at 8:30 a.m., enter that docket control order. That'll set out your new dates, and we'll go from there.
8:30 on the 10th, Your Honor, and you would like Mr. Parani in person as well?
Correct.
Okay. It's my hope that the evaluation and screening will have been done by then, fingers crossed, and that will help us work everything else out.
I hope that's the case. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'll hope that's the case.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Saylor, if you would e-file a reset for that date and time, we'll see you then.
Yes, Judge, I believe we've already filed one. Would you like us to refile with that specific date?
Let me see. Sarah, do you have one on file?
Yes, sir. Actually, no, I do not. It might not have been accepted yet, though.
Did you just file it today, Ms. Saylor?
Let me double check, Your Honor. I saw the notification earlier. It's my understanding it was filed at 11:17 this morning, Judge.
Okay. It hasn't been accepted in. You do not need to file a new reset. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. See you next week.
See you then. Ms. Phoenix? You need to unmute yourself, Ms. Phoenix.
I forget that every time. How you doing?
I'm good. Let's
I'm
get
well.
started. We're on the record in 21 CCR 225-174, State of Texas versus Troy Anthony Downer. Now, Ms. Phoenix, where do you stand with this case? What's going on? Was the hair follicle test conducted as well? There's a lot of questions I got going on of this case. So let's start here.
Hair follicle test was done.
All right, good. And
Came
back.
out negative. We
Okay.
we were offered treatment court. And I believe the gentleman that did the interview stated that he felt like he would be a good candidate. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to get something from the prosecutor or if he's in treatment court. I just know that we agreed to it.
I can jump in, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Yes, from my understanding, Mr. Downer is a good candidate and is eligible for treatment court. I'll go ahead. I believe she's in touch with Assad, the main prosecutor on the case, but I will send an email to make sure she's in contact with them to set up a time to come in and pay and sign a contract.
Woohoo!
All right. What I'll do is I'm going to give this one more status.
Okay.
Let's move it to March 9th. At 2:30.
Okay, Judge, I am, I can put you on March 9th. I am a special commissioner that in a hearing that starts at 10. And I'm not sure if it will be finished, but I could certainly maybe take a few minutes to pop onto this Zoom and let you know where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll see you then. I'm hopeful it'll be done with, accepted in, and then we don't have to worry about it. So
Okay.
that's my hope.
okay, we'll give it a shot, Judge. Thank you
Please
so
do.
much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hi, Judge.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
How are you?
I'm good. All right, we're on the record in 21 CCR 225-188, State of Texas versus Ariana Leal. Davis, where do we stand with this matter?
Judge Miss Leal had, she was offered pretrial diversion on this case, Judge. She accepted pretrial diversion. However, to get into the pretrial diversion program, she needed an ID. Her purse was stolen approximately about 3 weeks ago. According to, I believe, Ms. Cardenas, they need a valid picture ID. She got a temporary ID. However, she just got her picture ID in yesterday, and we sent it over to Ms. Rosemary in order to get her set up to go ahead and start the pretrial diversion.
That is my understanding as well, Judge.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna reset you to March 9th at 2:30 PM. That's another status in hopes that everything is done with by then.
Yes, sir, Judge. It should be, Judge. The only thing we're waiting on now is a date for Ms. Rosemary
Okay.
for her to come in and sign her contract, Judge. That's all we're waiting on.
Well, then by March 9th, it's done. You don't need to appear.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. May I be
But-
excused?
Yes, you may, if you just e-file the reset, please.
Yes, sir, will do. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. O'Brien.
All right, we're on the record, 22 CCR 225594, state of Texas versus Trey Williams. Mr. Lazarine, where do we stand with this matter?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good
Judge,
afternoon.
this is it's an evading arrest, but just I think it's worth mentioning. There's a lot of other stuff going on here. During the incident, I think the offense report's 23 pages. I got about 15 videos of discovery from Mr. Mitchell. I was working with Mr. Mitchell towards the end of last year towards a resolution. I had a couple offers. And the issue, I think, if I may, Judge, is that Trey is actually doing great. After this incident, he got arrested. His mom, Miss Grant, who I've primarily been interacting with on the front end, moved Trey and his twin brother, who go to Willow Ridge, moved him to a different location to live, but kept him at Willow Ridge for continuity. And he's on track to graduate this May. But she locked him down, Judge. He didn't have a phone. He had a tight curfew. He was going to school, playing football, but that was pretty much it. Very recently, he has got an offer. He's been in discussions, but it's more formal now, and he wants to go play football and go to college at Missouri Baptist University. And I've seen that, some emails from the coach there. So that's been the challenge is, Mr. Mitchell made some offers that were certainly reasonable and I think designed to move the case. I'm trying to now, given this more recent development, try to find a way to resolve the case so that we don't, I guess, destroy that chance for him to go to college and get an education. So I was working with Ms. Tommen. A couple weeks ago, we first talked. And then I was out last week on a trip that had been planned for a while. But this week when I got back, we resumed those conversations. I sent her some materials and she reviewed those, told me that they are now open to a different type of resolution, but I need to provide them some additional things on top of what I have provided, which I am on now. And like I said earlier, his mother's very involved and helpful. And so she's rounding up a couple things. Sorry for all that, but that's where I'm at and why I, despite already having had a number of resets, Judge, I would ask for one more to get that stuff together and submit it for a final decision from Ms. Tommen before you put this one on the trial docket, if you think that might work for you.
And if I could follow up, Your Honor?
You may.
Yes, from our understanding of Ms. Toman, she requested a mitigation packet entailing all of these new facts that have arisen to ultimately consider a PTI within office. So that's the current stance of the state.
Here's what I'm gonna do, Mr. Lazarine. I'd like you to come in next Friday at 8:30 a.m. We're going to enter a docket control order on this case. It'll give you one more date, and then you'll get set for trial at that point in time. So you'll have some additional time to wrap things up.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
February 10th, 8:30 a.m. If you file a reset, I'll see you and your client in person in my courtroom.
That was my next question. Thank you for answering that. February 10th, 8:30.
Correct.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You're free to go.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Davidson. Will your client be joining us?
Yes, Your Honor, she's here in my office with me.
All right, then. We're on the record in 21 CCR 222671, State of Texas versus Sylvia Coben. Mr. Davidson, where do we stand with this matter?
We received a new offer from the state on Tuesday for a dismissal. My client accepted it yesterday, and it just has to do 2 classes and some community service hours, and then we should be done.
How long is that going to take?
She said about a month or so is how long you're looking for? Yeah. About a month, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see y'all back on March 9th at 2:30 PM, unless, of course, the dismissal is filed before then.
Sounds good. I will file a reset on that.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
You said 10:30 a.m., correct?
2:30. 2:30.
Okay, perfect.
All right, you and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm not used to this setting, so I apologize.
It's all right. We're on the record in 22. Hold on, we're on the record in 22 CCR 226916, State of Texas versus Cesar Omar Garcia. All right, Mr. Thiessen, where do we stand with this case? What's going on?
So I believe we are working with, we're getting him into PTI. I have to get him screened. So let me pull up this if you don't mind. So Xavier said we need you to set up a TRAS before we can make a final decision on PTI. Peggy Bijou should have gotten me. We're waiting on Peggy Bijou to get me the TRAS stuff.
State.
That's not.
Yes, Your Honor, that's my understanding. Last I understood, Mr. Thiessen's mainly been dealing with Xavier, and he told him that he needs to evaluate for TRAS before he was eligible for any program. So I guess barring an appointment being set up, that's where the case is.
All right.
Okay, so I sent an email on one. Hold on, let me just, because it wasn't up to date. So I sent that. Left me a message, he hung up the phone. And so I am just waiting on, so it's not Miss Avery, we're waiting on Miss Bijou to get him a TRAS. But they said that he was already screened. Sorry, Judge, hold on. Because I'm just checking. Hey, Peggy, can you, and I sent an email on 1/30/23. Hey, Peggy, can you please help us set up a TRAS for Mr. Garcia? Please let me know if you need anything from us. And I never heard back. And Xavier was on there, Gavin O'Brien, Peggy Bijou, Donna, and Aaron. So I sent that 1:30 at 6:17 p.m. And Xavier told me on 1/27, we need you to get a TRAS. So I sent it 3 days later.
Okay.
You want me to reach out to Peggy again?
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
Let's reach out. March, reach out again. We're going to reset this to February 23rd at 2:30 p.m. Is just to kind of get a follow-up status on where this case stands. I'm hopeful that the defendant's been screened and has entered into a PTI program by then.
23rd is bad, Judge. I'm flying out at 4:30, so I'd be in the airport. As long as you don't mind me in the airport, I'll do it. But if you, I'm being honest with you.
How about March 9th?
March 9th. I'm speaking at the public defender's office from 1:30 to 3. So I can always get on after that, you know?
Why don't we set it for March 9th?
Okay, let me put it on March 9th, and I'm gonna email Peggy again. March 9th at 2:30 again.
If your
Right,
client
30.
enters the PTI program, you and your client don't need to appear. So here's hoping.
Right, well, I'm following up on this stuff, Judge, as you can see. Get into PTI. So I'll get, is that Gavin on this? I didn't see. Hey, Gavin. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, Mark?
You saw that. Good. You saw that email too, right?
That is correct. Yes, I was CC'd.
Okay, got it. All right, let me, I'm gonna shoot her another email.
All right. Very good. If you
All
need
right,
to reset, Mr. Thiessen, you're free to go. You and your client both.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
You do the same.
All right, bye-bye.
Your Honor, see that is next on the docket. I just wanted to say that we pled them out last week, so that'd be the reason.
Case?
Jonathan Case, yes.
It's, I've recognized that. It's
Okay,
pled.
just
We're on
wanted to
leave.
clarify for the court.
Yeah, we're on leave right now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nguyen, are you there?
Yes, Judge, I'm here. I'm having a problem with my camera.
Let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 22 CCR 226756, State of Texas versus Raymond Hugh Lee. Mr. Nguyen.
Yes, Judge.
This was, last time you were here, it was your client needed to take a class and the case would be dismissed. Clearly the case, it hasn't been dismissed yet. What's going on?
Well, we've done the class and we've done the donating, and we're still working on the 60 hours of community service, Your Honor.
How many hours?
The only thing left is the community service hours.
How many hours has she completed? Or he?
Raymond, can you jump in and answer the judge? You're muted. Unmute yourself.
So I own a restaurant, and it's very hard right now because there's not a lot of employees. So sometimes the owners have to jump in and work, and I've been working really hard, and I just got my car out from the shop. But I know that doesn't have anything to do with the case, but I've been really trying to go to different animal shelters and going to the temples and churches to ask for community service, but the animal shelters denied me because of the background check, and it's controlled substance. I went to the food bank today and they said they'll do a background check and they'll get back to me.
All right, Mr. Nguyen, what I'm going to do is I want you and your client to come in for the entry of a docket control order on this case on February 10th at 8:30 a.m. That'll set out one more status date and then trial at that point in time. So we'll give you some more time, get your client to finish up the 60 hours of community service, but I'm only going to give you a limited amount of time to get this done.
Yes, Judge, and you're wanting us back on the 10th?
On the 10th, February 10th, in
February
person.
10th, 8:30 a.m. Yes, Judge. In person?
In person, both you and your client.
Yes, Judge.
All right, if you e-file a reset for that date and time, you and your client are free to go.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Martinez,
Yes, sir. Can you see me?
I cannot see you.
All right. There we go.
Is your client with you?
No, Your Honor.
He is not in the waiting room.
No, Your Honor.
So your client will not be joining us today?
That is correct.
State?
At this time, state would move for bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
Jacob, if you call the defendant 3 times outside, please.
No answer at 3:33, Judge.
Thank you.
Your Honor, state would request new bond be set at $3,000 as well as conditions when you're ready.
1 minute. I'm going to grant the bond forfeiture set bond at $3,000. Mr. Martinez, I'm going to add some bond conditions as well. I do see that you have a motion to withdraw on the case as well.
Yes, Your Honor. Is that?
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out if I followed the proper protocol for your court.
Yes, I will sign off on your motion to withdraw after I finish with all of this on your client. Let's see, Mr. O'Brien, what are those conditions?
A random urinalysis as well as an interlock, Your Honor.
Sarah, if you'd make note that this one's gonna have to be entered as well. Those conditions are granted. Mr. Martinez, I'll sign off that order shortly. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's Henderson here on?
Page Willis, he is in the courtroom. Or, yeah, Willis Page.
Mr. Henderson, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're on the record in 21 CCR 222-629, State of Texas versus Willis Page. Last time we were here, Mr. Henderson, he needed to complete a class, and I assume that's not done. What's going on?
Well, I received an email saying that we need to just submit the registration in his license, in the insurance, in the case of be dismissed. He forwarded it to me yesterday and I sent it to the prosecutor. However, she stated that the insurance was the application. So he resent the card to me today and I forwarded it to her this afternoon. While I was waiting to be brought into the hearing, I forwarded her the insurance card to her email.
Yes, Your Honor. My court partner has been in trial all day, so I can't verify the reception of that insurance through email this afternoon. I'm sure if he says it was sent, it likely was, and that was, from my understanding, the last thing waiting on the dismissal.
All right, then. I'm just going to take it as this case will be dismissed either later today or tomorrow.
Okay.
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
All right, then. Let's see, Mr. Henderson, you're free to go along with your client.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, let's get Mr. Ramirez in there as well. I don't have anybody for Mr. Monks.
Mr. Singleton came in to the courtroom. I got his email, sent him the link as he was standing there, and he said he would be on.
Okay.
There's a defendant step to the restroom. I'll bring him in as soon as he gets back.
Thank you. I'm going to pause Zoom for a minute. I'm going to step off camera to take care of
See you. Sit down right there and they'll come on the screen.
Mr. Singleton, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Judge.
Okay. We're on the record in 22 CCR 227089, State of Texas versus Audio Alexis Ramirez. Mr. Singleton, where do we stand with this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm standing in for Attorney Mike Monks, and I was just informed that Mr. Ramirez still needs to review the DWI video with Mr. Monks, and so they're waiting for him to come by and review that evidence.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have Mr. Monks and Mr. Ramirez come in on February 10th at 8:30 a.m. for the entry of a docket control order in this case. I need you, Mr. Singleton, to e-file, or Mr. Monks's office to e-file a reset for that date and time. It is an in-person docket, so Mr. Monks and Mr. Singleton, or Mr. Ramirez, excuse me, will need to be present at that docket.
And that's February 10th at 8:30 a.m.
Correct.
And I will have them e-file the reset, Your Honor. And also, Your Honor, he had another case, Janet Miller, cause number 21 CCR 222605.
That's not on my docket.
It's not, it's an off docket. He was trying to get a bond on her. I'm not sure what happened with her bond, but he wanted me to approach on having her bond reinstated or having a new bond.
He needs to file a motion to reinstate and we'll set it on a docket.
Okay. On a motion to reinstate. I will inform him of that, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Counselor. You're free to go. You and your client.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. That wraps up the docket. Thank you all.